Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so get this. Globally, businesses are wasting billions of dollars every single year on generic, completely untargeted marketing. It is a massive drain. Today, we're tackling this huge challenge that secretly eats up resources for so many organizations. We're talking about the ridiculously costly mistake of treating every single customer exactly the same. We are going to unpack exactly how to solve this using customer segmentation and K-means clustering, specifically within the low-code environment of the KNIME Analytics Platform. Let's get into it.
So I have to ask, are you treating every customer the exact same way? It sounds like a simple question, right? But if your answer is yes, you are probably stuck in the one-size-fits-all trap. Think about it. When you blast the exact same message to your most loyal, high-value customer and to someone who hasn't bought a single thing in a year, you end up with totally ineffective campaigns, a really poor customer experience, and just entirely wasted business resources. We absolutely need a better way.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start off with the segmentation solution, then decode the K-means clustering algorithm, walk through the KNIME workflow, translate our data into action, and finish up with the critical mistakes you absolutely must avoid.
Starting with Section 1, the segmentation solution, because it's time for no more one-size-fits-all. Let's explore the exact cure for this average customer trap we've been talking about.
That cure is behavioral segmentation. Basically, this is the process of dividing your customer base into much smaller, manageable groups based on their measurable actions and shared characteristics, rather than just guessing or relying on assumptions. And the ultimate goal here isn't just to create neat little categories so your spreadsheets look pretty. No, effective segmentation dictates exactly how an organization should interact with and manage each specific group of customers. To actually pull this off, we have to focus on measurable behavioral variables. We're moving way beyond basic demographics like age or location here. We want to look at things like the total amount spent, the number of purchases they've made, their recency, which just means how many days it's been since their last purchase, their discount usage, and even website visits. These actions tell us what a customer actually does, which is infinitely more actionable than just knowing who they are. Now that we know what data to look for, we need to introduce the core algorithm that will help us make sense of all these behaviors. Welcome to Section 2, Decoding K-means Clustering and the Fascinating World of Unsupervised Clustering. Before we get into the weeds with K-means specifically, let's quickly map out where it sits in the machine learning universe. On one side, we've got supervised learning. This is where your data has a predefined target you're trying to predict. But clustering, that's unsupervised learning. This means the algorithm doesn't actually have a target at all. Instead, it studies all the similarities and differences between your records to identify natural hidden groups within the dataset. It literally figures out the patterns completely on its own. So, how does K-means actually work its magic? Well, the K just stands for the number of clusters you want to create. Think of it kind of like walking into a massive networking event. At first, it's just a totally random, chaotic crowd, but K-means helps organize the room. First, you pick the number of groups, let's say 4. The algorithm places initial center points, which are called centroids, right into the data. It then calculates the exact mathematical distance between every single customer and those centroids, assigning each person to the closest one. After that, it recalculates the center of that newly formed group and repeats this whole process over and over until everyone is securely grouped with people who share similar behaviors, minimizing the distance between them. It is brilliant. Let's transition over to Section 3, the KNIME workflow, and get right into the practical execution. Knowing the math is great, but we need a way to actually build this. That's exactly where the KNIME Analytics Platform comes in. It's an incredibly powerful, yet accessible low-code environment. And this brilliantly illustrates a vital strategic backdrop. We are leveraging the assignment on click strategic sourcing framework to guide our data approach before we even think about dragging and dropping any nodes. You absolutely must have a clear business objective and a strategic framework before you start clustering. You don't just run an algorithm to see what happens, right? Your strategic framework dictates what specific behaviors you actually want to understand in your retail business scenario. Once your strategy is locked in, you bring your data into KNIME. But as we all know, raw data is pretty much always a mess. So we have a few key phases to handle first. You've got to manage missing values, often by just replacing them with a median, because K-means simply cannot calculate distances if there are blank spaces. You also have to filter out duplicates so they don't unfairly pull the cluster centers off course. And crucially, you absolutely must normalize your variables. Think about it. If someone's annual income ranges from $20,000 to $200,000, but their purchase frequency only ranges from 1 to 30, the massive scale of the income will completely overshadow the frequency. Normalization just puts everything on a totally equal playing field. The very last step before hitting execute is figuring out that magic K number. And please, do not just guess. Analysts use what's called the elbow method. Basically, you plot the within-cluster variation for different values of K. As you add more clusters, that variation naturally decreases. What you're looking for is the point on the graph where adding another cluster produces only a tiny, marginal improvement. It literally looks like the bend of a human elbow. When you spot that bend, boom, that is your optimal number of segments.
We are now at the climax of our explainer. Section 4, Translating Data to Action. It's time to build our business personas. The algorithm has run. The messy data has been processed. Now, we translate those abstract numbers into real, actionable business insights. Now, what's really interesting here is how we finally bridge the gap between the machine and the human. The algorithm just spits out clusters 0, 1, 2, and 3. And honestly, those numbers mean absolutely nothing to a marketing team. But when we profile them using a KNIME group by node, a real story emerges. For example, cluster 0 has high spending, frequent purchases, and recent activity. So we confidently label them loyal high value. Cluster 2 shows moderate spending, but incredibly high discount usage. We call them promotion sensitive. We are taking the raw math and giving it human-readable, business-friendly names that people can actually use.
Once everything is labeled, we can really understand the drastic differences. When we look at the average spending across these new segments, loyal high-value customers are spending exponentially more than our inactive or promotion-sensitive groups. This kind of undeniable proof immediately validates to any non-technical stakeholder exactly why we cannot treat everyone the same. I mean, you clearly can't manage the group with the massive spending the exact same way you manage the group that barely spends at all.
So the crucial point is, what do we actually do with all this information? Because a segmentation project only creates value when it leads to real decisions. For our loyal, high-value cluster, the action plan is all about retention and VIP treatment. We're talking rolling out premium loyalty benefits, giving them early access to new products, providing highly personalized recommendations, and maybe even routing them to priority customer support. We want this group to feel remarkably special, because they are.
Conversely, let's look at the strategy for the promotion-sensitive and inactive clusters. For the promo seekers, we deploy targeted discount campaigns and bundle offers. But here is the real secret. Because we've segmented them out, we entirely avoid giving unnecessary discounts to our loyal high-value customers. You know, the ones who would have happily purchased at full price anyway? That is a huge money saver. And for the inactive folks, we trigger targeted re-engagement emails and time-limited return offers to try and win them back. It is incredibly precise.
Okay, we've seen the ideal workflow, but in the real world, things do go wrong. Let's shift into our final section, Section 5, Mistakes You Must Avoid, to highlight the critical pitfalls that can totally ruin your efforts.
Let's rapidly run through these because they are super important. First, never ever include customer IDs in your clustering model. They are just arbitrary numbers, not actual behaviors. Second, like we talked about, ignoring data scaling will completely ruin your model. Third, never just guess your K value without testing the elbow method. Fourth, do not name your clusters before you analyze the results. Let the data tell the story, not your own biases. And finally, never treat clusters as permanent. Customer behavior changes over time, right? An inactive customer today might get re-engaged and become a high-value customer tomorrow. You always have to keep updating your models. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We've walked through how the KNIME Analytics Platform and K-means clustering can completely revolutionize your understanding of your audience. The math has done the heavy lifting of grouping the behaviors, but the final, most important step relies entirely on you. How will you transform your newly discovered customer segments into better, more personalized experiences? I really challenge you to take these low-code techniques, apply them to your own data, and empower your team's human decision-making. Thanks so much for joining me on this